Your mind doesn't stop. Even when the room is quiet, it keeps talking, replaying conversations, predicting problems, imagining outcomes that haven't happened. You call it thinking, but it feels like drowning. Overthinking doesn't look dramatic. You're just sitting there, but inside, your brain is running marathons. You analyze what you said, what you should have said, what they might have meant, what could go wrong tomorrow, and the more you think, the less clear you feel. Because overthinking is not clarity, it's fear disguised as logic. Your brain believes that if it thinks long enough, it can prevent pain, prevent embarrassment, prevent failure, prevent rejection. So it searches for certainty. But life doesn't offer certainty, and when the brain doesn't find answers, it keeps searching. That loop becomes anxiety. The problem isn't that you think too much, it's that you don't trust yourself enough to act. Overthinking often appears when stakes feel high, when you care deeply, when you don't want to mess up, when your identity feels exposed. So your brain tries to protect you, but protection turns into paralysis. You wait for the perfect decision, the perfect timing, the perfect wording, and perfection never arrives. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Thinking is not the same as progress. You can think about starting the gym for months. You can think about sending that message for weeks. You can think about changing your life for years, and nothing changes. Because clarity doesn't come from endless analysis, it comes from action. Action interrupts rumination. Movement breaks mental loops. When you take a small step, your brain shifts from prediction to feedback. Instead of imagining outcomes, you experience them. Overthinking also feeds on idle time. When your body is still and your schedule is empty, your mind fills the space with scenarios, not because you're broken, because the brain hates uncertainty. It would rather create problems than sit in silence. Another truth, overthinking feels productive. It feels responsible. It feels like you're being careful, but real carefulness includes courage. At some point, you must decide with incomplete information. You must speak without knowing every reaction. You must move without knowing every outcome. Confidence is not knowing. It's trusting that you can handle what happens next. Overthinkers often have strong imagination, strong awareness, strong empathy. These are strengths. But without boundaries, strength becomes stress. You don't need to stop thinking. You need to limit thinking. Set decision windows. If it's a small choice, decide fast. If it's a big choice, set a deadline. No endless mental negotiations. And when your brain starts replaying something you cannot change, ask one question. Is this useful right now? If the answer is no, shift your body. Walk, write, work. Do something physical. Thoughts lose power when movement begins. Your mind is not your enemy. It is overprotective. It thinks fear equals safety, but growth requires uncertainty. The goal is not silence. The goal is control. You don't eliminate thoughts. You decide which ones deserve attention. Because the mind that creates fear is the same mind that creates solutions. And once you stop worshiping every thought, you start living instead of rehearsing.
Subscribe for more life, money, and mindset lessons explained through books.